trades. Wanted to do a quick technical analysis video of the S&P 500. This is the ticker SPY, SPY. This is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Okay, so one thing I always say is do not worship at the altar of SPY. And what I mean is that if you're only looking at SPY, you're going to have a rough time trading, okay? Because SPY is never going to outperform. It's never going to lead, right? So if you're only watching SPY, you're missing all of the leading indicators across the market that are giving you a future notice about what's to come for SPY. Okay, so here's what I mean. This is June 11th. Okay, so June 11th, there was this scary sell-off, right? And we were still below the February high. So there were a lot of people who were like, oh no, like, is it A, B, C? You know, like, because we're still below the February high. They thought we could go A, this was going to be a failed bounce, and then we were going to go C, right? But all the really good wave theorists were saying, no, you can't do that. Why can't you do that? Because on June 11th, the NASDAQ QQQ was above the February high, right? So if you were just watching SPY, you still were thinking about this. But QQQ said, no, like, we're already above this high, we're going to go higher. And remember this now, right? Because you're going to go on FinTwit, Guru, Leaks, whatever, and you're going to see a bunch of expanded flats for SPY, right? An expanded flat is when you go A, you break marginally above the high, and then you go C, right? But here's the problem with that. You can't recreate that on QQQ, right? This isn't B, right? This is the world's biggest B wave ever. This isn't a B wave. This is a huge impulse wave, right? And by the way, I didn't ditch the pitchforks. I just wanted to make the SPY chart clean. So let's just talk about the pitchfork on QQQ right now. Beautiful reaction, 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 reaction. I expect QQQ to start heading back to the median first it's going to hit the lower bound of this pitchfork, then it's going to hit the median. We're definitely expecting QQQ to reach 300. We'll say invalid below 264, right? So we're still definitely expecting QQQ to reach the median of this pitchfork. That definitely did not go away. Okay, but for SPY, I want to focus on some other things. Now remember what I said. We don't worship at the altar of SPY. SPY is an extremely beautiful trading instrument, right? It has the highest liquidity of any stock in the options market, right? So there's not one stock on earth that has more liquidity than SPY. Okay, how do we know this? Obviously we have volume statistics, but if you go on go to buy options on SPY, you can buy an option on SPY that expires every 2 days, right? You know any other stocks that you can do that? I don't know. Can you buy a call on Tesla that expires in 2 days? Not unless it's Wednesday. This is the most liquid vehicle in the stock market, right? So it can be a very useful thing to track. But what I'm trying to say is SPY is not always the best indicator of where SPY is going. Okay, and I'm going to show you a few charts to prove my point. Okay? Before, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to ask yourself, if this was July, if this was December, if this was, last October, and I told you PayPal, Square Cash, Alibaba, and Bitcoin are all doing one thing, you would say, SPY is either doing the same thing or it's going to do the same thing, right? But Alibaba, Square Cash, PayPal, they normally move with SPY. Bitcoin normally moves with SPY too, okay? I'm not really even here to argue about that. You want to argue about that, have, go join a Discord. But this is Alibaba, okay? This is, what is this? This is the September high, right? This is the exact same September 2nd high. The exact same September 2nd high, right? So what happened? Did Alibaba all of a sudden just stop moving with SPY? It made the exact same September high, and it broke above the September high like in early October, right? So once Alibaba did this, I threw any bearish scenario away. Alibaba's still above this high, right? You're not required by law to trade SPY, right? If a stock is outperforming, you can focus on the stocks that are outperforming. Alibaba is already above the September 2nd high. Okay, so make sure you ask your gurus who are going to tell you prepare your pantry. Make sure you ask your gurus, well, how do you recreate that wave count on Alibaba? And they're going to say, oh, it's Alibaba, China, Joe Biden. They're going to say some nonsense. And you're all right, whatever, fundamental Fred. What about PayPal? Right? Well, did PayPal stop moving with the stock market? It looks pretty similar, right? This looks pretty similar. By the way, PayPal was way above this high. PayPal was above this high in early May, right? So PayPal and Square Cash, they do a really good job as leading indicators for the market. I can't quite tell you why. I think it's got something to do with, inflation, the fact that these are cash, e-cash is kind of a leading indicator in the same way Bitcoin can be used as a leading indicator. I don't know, but PayPal way above this high in early May, right? I saw this in early May and I was like, wait a minute. The SPY bearish scenario doesn't make sense because PayPal just gapped up over here, right? Well, now PayPal, this is the exact same September 2nd high, right? The exact same September 2nd high to the T. PayPal is already above it. All right? Square Cash. Ever heard of Square Cash? Same thing as PayPal, already above it, right? Square Cash again was a great leading indicator, a little behind PayPal even, but these two above the high. Oh, right. Hey, FinTwit Guru, how do you recreate the end of the world scenario for Tesla and Apple if Square Cash and PayPal are up here? Right? By the way, clear bull flag, breakout and back test. This is a good buy. But still, September 2nd, Square Cash makes a high. Now Square Cash is way above that high. Right? So unless someone's putting a gun to your head, you don't have to just, I'm going to look at the SPY chart for 90 hours and, just question my religion. No, let's just talk about SPY from an Elliott wave perspective. What is Elliott wave theory? Should I bring out the tarot cards and no. Elliott wave theory goes a little something like this. There's moves in the stock market that correct in 3 waves. Okay? These corrections take the form of 3 waves. A, B, C. Wave C is longer than wave A. And then once you break above this wave B high, that's the end of the correction. Once you break above the top of wave A, then that's definitely the end of the correction, right? So A, B, C in the S&P 500 has broken above the February high, right? So that says that this ABC correction is a completed correction, right? Technically, it was possible that this was a double correction all the way up until, what was this? All the way up until August 11th. You could have technically drawn a horizontal line right here and said it's a, wave C down is still possible. But remember, for QQQ, you couldn't have because QQQ was above this high way up here. So I'm saying you got to watch the whole market. QQQ was way up above the February high in June, right? So there was no reason to be bearish the market since June. I don't believe there's any reason to be bearish the market now, right? Because the QQQ chart, you're not retesting the high, right? The QQQ chart, you're way in this, neverland compared to the February high, right? But let's just focus on SPY for the rest of this video. A, B, C correction. Okay? 1, 2, this was also a bull flag. 3, 4. Okay, how do I know that this is a wave 3? Should I just start pulling numbers out of my whatever? No. This is a wave 3, and we know this is a wave 4 because it consolidates sideways, kind of like a bull flag. A wave 2 makes a very clear A, B, C, very clear shakeouts low on a wave 2. A wave 4 is much more like a bull flag. It doesn't scare you out, it just wears you out. All right? So 1, A, B, C, 2, 3, consolidate sideways, 4, wave 5. All right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completes wave 1. All right? So this is the September 2nd high. Now, once again, Square Cash, PayPal, Bitcoin, copper miners, Nike, Target, Qualcomm, Neo have already broken above this 9.2 high, right? All those companies, Alibaba, Square Cash, PayPal, I don't know about you, in my understanding of the stock market, SPY normally moves with Alibaba, Square Cash, PayPal, Bitcoin, Target, Nike, and Qualcomm, right? If you gave me those stocks and said, figure out where the S&P 500 is going, I think I would do pretty well, okay? So remember, PayPal, Square Cash, already above this high. Alibaba, already above this high. The reason I say that and emphasize it so much because a lot of people they just can't fathom this, right? They can't fathom it. And if you look at the Square Cash chart or that Bitcoin chart or the chart of a copper miner, I'm saying a copper miner because they measure inflation just like gold and silver. They're already above the September high, right? So the September high, we have A, B, C. Now this technically, if you're below this high, more correction, more downside is still possible. Once you break above the top of wave B, it's very unlikely. Okay, the fact that Square Cash, PayPal, etc. already way above this high gives me, more confirmation that this is an ABC correction, and we had an impulsive wave 1 off the March low. Off the September low, right? So bears, this is your time to shine, right? I will say, you close below 319, it gets a little messy for the bulls. It does. You close below SPY 319, it gets a little messy. I would not be long the market below 319. So we'll just say that right now. Bears, if we're double topping, if we're whatever, you close below 319, we'll consider it. Okay? There is a scenario for the bulls if we're below 319. I don't want to get into it for this video. Basically, it would be A, B, and then, we'd have a marginal low, and we'd have to recover 319 immediately. If we start consolidating below 319, that's where I would start, getting your pantry ready, putting water and nuts in it for Armageddon. Here's a good thing: if you're someone who works, a 9 to 5, and you got a salary job, this is the best thing that could happen to you. But I don't think it's going to happen. Here's my projection. This from the March low is wave 1. This move takes 6 months, and it's wave 1. This ABC, this 1, and this 2 form a large bull flag with declining volume, and then a breakout in volume is a selling climax that gives us a timing signal. So I take the length of this move in price and time, I place it at the low of 319, and if SPY is above 319, the equal legs target is 460 in 6 months.